Hey everyone, it's Tom Seymour from VHS Massacre Radio. I'm just here to give you a little update and talk about some things that are happening in regard to physical media. So I'm on this site Igitech. It's a technical how-dos and tips and tricks site. They published an article which I thought was actually pretty hilarious. DVD sales rocketing in the last year. This is the 2021 article from April, right? But what this data reveals is that if you look, so Blu-ray had been starting to overtake DVD in regard to physical sales, but as the years went on from 2018 to 2019 to 2020 to 2021, DVDs had this monster comeback where they account for 71% of the physical media sales, whereas Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, Ultra HD, that stuff is 23.6. And the article goes into some of the reasons why. Now, here is the thing to keep in mind. It's not saying that, somehow DVD sales are surging back to any level that would, that we used to see like in the video store era. But what the article does show is that physical media remains a influential force in the market. The article talks about how because these streaming sites are so territorial about their properties, and how a movie can be on one site for a few months and then rotate off and it's on another one. People are absolutely sick of this stuff. And the reason why they turn to DVD is because they say basically the average consumer is less concerned about that type of quality. But the reason why they can be less concerned is that because of devices like Xbox and PS4, if you've ever taken a standard definition DVD, put it in a PS4 or a PS5 that has the physical drive, and you've played it, the image looks gorgeous. It upscales the footage. It alters the saturation and contrast. Basically, it's like watching a whole new print. I have, and even beside these PS4 and Xbox or contemporary Blu-ray players, most of the 4K TVs will do some kind of image degraining, and so you want to be somewhat careful of that. Like, I like film grain. Like, if I love my Enter the Dragon Blu-ray because I love the grain on it, because it's actually a physical film print, the celluloid or whatever. It actually, you're seeing the grain in the film, which I think is actually beautiful. Basically, if you're using a VCR, you plug a VCR into like we have a 55-inch 4K TV. It actually looks totally fine. And that's because of all these upscaling and smoothing and other processes they're doing. I'm not saying use motion smoothing. Motion smoothing's freaking terrible. Don't use that. It makes everything look like a cheap television. If you look at this, they're able to track data on people who are using Xbox and PS4. Okay, and this is not complete because a lot of people still watch their physical media on set-top players and stuff like that. But I mean, if you look, 10% of usage on PS4 is physical media, and 9% on Xbox. Basically 10%, and then it breaks down. Online gaming is a huge chunk, about 30% for both Xbox and PS4. Offline gaming is probably actually going to be physical media as well. I mean, really, if you think about it. And then, so 20% for streaming, 24% for streaming for Xbox. And so when you look at that pie, you might be able to claim about 30% for physical media, physical games for offline gaming versus 10%. I know you can make the case that offline gaming, you could easily just download a program and you're, let's say you're playing like Final Fight or something, or if you're playing like what's the game, Streets of Rage 4, like you've downloaded it, you're not using the online element. But I think this does indicate physical game sales as well. It certainly can infer some percentage because of new devices that basically enhance the quality of DVD, rather than someone paying. Like, people are just sick of it, right? If they want to watch Gladiator and it's not on their streaming site, you know what? They're going to go on Amazon. They're going to pay, $8 for Gladiator shipped to their door, rather than paying like $9.99 for a rental fee or something like that. They're sick of this stuff. And I think it's a really interesting statistic. Another thing that this thing shows, which I think is phenomenal. One of the things I looked up prior to this was, okay, so let's take a movie like Wonder Woman 84, right? Okay, so this is interesting. It only pulled in $166 million in the box office, but they made an extra 20 in Blu-ray and DVD. That's not nothing. That puts it closer to at least break even on the budget, which is, it still means that thing lost money, because these days when a movie costs $200 million, it really needs to almost triple what it makes. So it needs to be in about the $600 million range to really be starting to make money. Even if it made $400 million, it's essentially lost money because they have to spend at least that on marketing. Okay, so this site is showing some Blu-ray sales at least. It looks like it does a DVD plus Blu-ray chart we can break down. That's weekly though. But this is like 2021, so last year we're talking about, but I think it's good data here. So just in Blu-ray, Wonder Woman made $20 million. The Croods made $14 million. Raya and the Last Dragon, made $13 million. Godzilla vs. King Kong, $17 million. Tenet, which is a Christopher Nolan film, $9 million. So what you realize here is that physical media, although not that force that moved mountains in the past, is still brings in a lot of money, and that the physical media market actually is a good venue for independent filmmakers. And according to that data we just looked up, in 2021, DVD sales are absolutely through the roof. It may not be a terrible idea if you've done a genre film, an exploitation film, a low-budget film, to try to crank out some DVDs. Like, one of the things about manufacturing DVDs is I can tell you the price of pumping out DVDs, way cheaper. So you might be able to like crank out some DVDs and sell them for $11.99 or even possibly $9.99 and still make some money. So I actually take this as a good sign. I think that what this shows is that people are absolutely sick of the streaming sites. When they want a movie and they're going to pay, if they're going to pay over $10 for something, they want to own the thing. And I think that's an indication of the DVD, right? They go on Amazon and they're like, you know what, I'm going to buy this thing for $9.99 because, Prime wants to charge me, $12.99 to own this film, and I don't want to do that. Or even, they want to charge me. Think about this. Even if they wanted to charge you $6.99 for a rental, it's like, no, I'll buy it for $10. That's fine. So I think you can say that the DVD market has changed to a collector's market partially, but I think actually what this shows is that people are rediscovering the DVD as a inexpensive mechanism to have permanent access to their movies, and I think that's a really important thing. And to some degree, it's a good sign. I know that some independent filmmakers will actually they'll have a window, like for example, VHS Massacre 2 just came out in Blu-ray. It hit the #1 spot on Amazon for new releases, right? Pretty amazing. But one of the reasons why I think that happened, that's That's my movie. One of the reasons why I think that happened is because that's the only way you could see it. You know, so there is something to be said for releasing your film on physical media and trying to use social media to advertise this thing and say, look, it's a beautiful collectible Blu-ray or DVD. It's got great cover art. It's got extras on it. And you know what? You buy this thing, you get to keep it, and you can watch it anytime, forever, right? So that's one thing. And then also, look, here's the thing. I love Ridley Scott movies. I put an order in to buy The Last Duel on Blu-ray because nothing better than watching a Ridley Scott movie on Blu-ray because the production design is always amazing. So I put the pre-order in for the thing, but you know it comes on. Last Duel comes on streaming, and I was like, you know what? I'm dying to see this movie. I'm going to keep the Blu-ray order because I want the physical media, and I watched the thing on. I watched the thing on streaming. I'm about 20 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't like this film, and I cancel my order for my Blu-ray. So even if you didn't like the movie, but it was only available on physical media, you might take that chance and buy it. Whereas if it's accessible on streaming and then you watch a thing, you might realize, I really don't need to own this. So it's a weird way of saying there's something to be said for having a release on physical media and then keeping it exclusive, at least for 6 months or even a year before it rotates onto streaming. Because you won't make back your money on streaming. Streaming doesn't make anything for no-budget filmmakers. It's just pennies on the dollar. It's just a sad state, and I don't think anyone is coming to help us. So I think, buy DVDs and Blu-rays and buy independent and low-budget content. Just buy low-budget content. You can't even use the word independent film anymore. That word's been stolen by the studio system. So just say buy low-budget films, or buy exploitation films, because those films will at least be interesting. Anyway, that's about all I have. Also, the Telly Awards, the final deadline is coming up February 25th to enter. I'm proud to have entered the Tellys in the past and won Telly Awards, and I'm a judge now on the Silver Council for the Tellys and for the Webby Awards. I'm part of the Academy over there, and so I'm about 3/4 way through my lot of what I'm judging for the Telly Awards. Some really good work this year, under some very difficult circumstances. And I would recommend the Telly Awards. This is not an advertisement, by the way. I'm not. I really believe in the Telly Awards. I used to work in the news industry, CBS News in Hartford, and then NBC Universal, and I even did some work for IGN. But the thing about the Telly Awards is that unlike the Emmy Awards, any person can enter, but typically the Telly Awards would be for something like if you worked in news, or if you worked let's say you worked for Disney and you made some promotions or some documentaries about some of the content on there, or even some commercials, or it really runs the gamut. I think they're even allowing podcasts in now, and you could enter and you would have a chance to win. The good thing about the Tellys is they will give out more than a few awards. Because even the regional Emmys, which is meant for like smaller market content, they only give out, they don't give out that many regional Emmys. Whereas the Telly Awards are based upon quality of work. If there's a category, they'll give out multiple awards to that category. They have levels of awards. They have like a bronze Telly. Silver Telly used to be the top award for about 30 or 40 years. I mean, they started in the late 70s, but they added gold. So now the top award, I believe, is gold. But the Tellys, I think, I think they're a really cool award for content makers. They have a long legacy. Everyone knows what they are. You have to pay to enter, just like anything else. If you're paying to enter Sundance or Tribeca, there are ways apparently to pay to enter the certain regional Emmys depending on the market. So that's just how it is. But I think the Telly Awards, for instance, can can recognize certain things. Like there are certain independent filmmakers who work in to make a living. They actually produce commercials and things like that. They use really amazing techniques and animation and things like that. And there is only a limited amount of places that where they're recognizable awards where that most people in the industry know that they can enter. So Telly Awards is in the industry is very well known. And then I also judged the Webby Awards this year. The Webbies, I guess I would argue the Webbies are more known to the mainstream because often they have celebrities attached, like Colbert and usually like Jimmy Kimmel and stuff like that. When awards are announced and given out, I feel like they gave Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a Special Achievement Award. When the Webbies are rolled out, a lot of the talk shows will cover it. But much like the Tellys, like the Tellys get everyone from Disney to HBO to NPR entering, right? Two independent filmmakers. The Webbies are very similar. NASA is entering here. Literally, the MTA are entering the Webbies because of looks like a mobile applications they created. So the Webbies are concentrate way more on web content. They do some video, but it's a really narrow thing, and that stuff's very competitive at the Webbies. If you're trying your hand at video, you may be better off with the Tellys if you're doing things like film and things like that. That may be more appropriate. But they're two different award shows for a reason, and I believe they're both owned by the same company. So anyway, if you're an independent filmmaker, I would check out the Tellys. Yeah, I guess buy VHS Massacre 2 on Blu-ray. It's only $14.99. Lots of cool extras, including director's commentary and extended scenes. Support low-budget cinema. And all right, we'll see you next time.